Alright, today I'm gonna bed my windows back into my sash, and I'm gonna show you how I'm going to do that. I'm gonna be using Sarco multi-glaze type M. I have some 20-minute mud. This is to clean up the Sarco off the glass. Here's the glass. The old glass is what I'll be using. I'm not getting a new one. I'm just restoring this to its original shape. This has been sanded. The primer is oil based. In the other video I showed you I use an oil based primer, and now I'm just going to well, I already sanded it down with 180 grit. It's nice and smooth now. This oil based primer is a lot thicker than the water based, so yeah, you do want to sand that down. So this type of window has a little groove at the bottom of the sash, or this is actually the top of the sash, and it's a little groove where the glass fits into and keeps it nice and snug. Problem is, I'm not sure if you glaze that or not, but I'm going to put glaze in there and embed it with the glazing, because that can rattle in there and that can cause condensation to go through, air to go through. So I'm going to be putting my glaze in this as well. I haven't seen videos where people put the glaze in there, but I'm going to do it. I'll put it also on the sides, so when you put the glass on, it's going to actually sit on, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch of glaze that I'm going to be putting all the way around the border. And again, I'm going to be putting some glaze in this groove here. Not sure if that's the way they did it back in the old days, but that's the way I'm going to do it, because it makes no sense to leave, you know, that open so air can flow through that. Alright, just took the cap off this, and you can see what it looks like. Okay. It looks like that's linseed oiled up at the top of it, so I guess I just got to mix it up a little bit. I'm wearing gloves because I don't know if this stuff sticks to your hands or not. Never used it before. Matter of fact, I've never done a sash window. This is the first time I'm doing this. But after, you know, reading articles on it and watching some videos, can kind of piece from, you know, you watch 5 different videos, you take what you think is right from several of the people, because everybody's got their own way of doing things. And then I do it my own way, because one way might be better than the other. Alright, so there we go. There's a big clump, and I'll start getting it into this. Alright, I mean, looks like clay. Stuff's pretty soft. All right. So some people say, oh, you make a snake. Some people just shove it in there. I'm gonna try shoving in there, see how that works. With my finger, my thumb. Don't think you need a knife, putty knife for this. Doesn't seem like you need it. Seems just fine the way I'm doing it here. It's kind of sticky on your fingers. See how it's sticking to my glove? Which is kind of annoying, because it keeps wanting to stick to my finger, not the sash. And that would explain why some people use a snake method. That would make sense to me, to, you know, roll it up into a little snake, because it keeps sticking to my finger. But even this way, it's still not wanting to stick to the sash. And this is a prime sash, so yeah, so that doesn't work too good. I'll just continue to use my thumb. That seems to be the best method there. Fell in my shoe. And what this is going to do is this is going to keep air out, you know, condensation and air from getting into the window. This is pretty much all there is, keeping that airtight. So take your time. I'm going to take my time because, you know, I don't want any leaks in the future from these windows. That's one side done. 4 more to do. And again, I'm doing that groove over there because I don't want a leak in there either. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. For this one, I'm just going to shove it in there. And again, I'm not sure if this is what you're supposed to do because I can't find any videos of anyone doing it like this. But it's common sense. It makes sense to do this, or else you're going to have a rattling window. So I'm doing it. Do what you want, you know, on your sash, but I'm not going to leave it where it's not airtight. Don't worry about putting too much because that window's going to go in there and push it all out anyway. Ugh, messy stuff. Has a little bit of a smell to it, but it's not disgusting smell or anything like that. But it does have a bit of a smell. Not too bad. I'm right up on here. It doesn't smell. I can smell it, but it's not like disgusting or anything like that. You probably don't want to jam this with too much because then the window is going to have a hard time getting in there. But I want to make sure there's enough. And that's why I'm making this video, because this is something I haven't done before. And I've never seen anybody doing it, you know, this way. So there's only a couple videos of people, you know, bedding their windows, you know, old sashes on YouTube that I could find. Alright, so that's that side. So I just squeezed it into the little crack there. I'll finish the other sides and get this glass in. Alright, there's glaze all the way around the border, and let's try to put this glass in. And we'll see how this shoves into that little crack there, because it's got full of glaze. In there. And I did mark which side was the outside glass on a label here, just so I would know. Alright, there we go. It's in there. I'm going to push from the outside, kind of going down towards this groove here. And go back and forth on the exterior, on this border. Try not to push in the middle. I know that would break it really easy if you put too much pressure. So you can see, I don't know if you can see on camera, let me take this off and show you guys. Okay, you can see that it did, you know, smush out whatever glaze was in there. So this seems like this is going to embed it really nice, keep this thing from rattling when cars go by in the street. And I just haven't seen anybody embed it like this, and I'm not even sure if that's the way they do it, but that's the way that makes sense to me. I mean, if you're going to do the sides, might as well do right there as well. And again, this had a groove only. It wasn't like the sides and the top or the bottom of the sash. It was a little bit different where the glass slides in there. Now to put your push points, these, I got some new ones. Probably going to use some of these old ones. They're just triangles. And I'll put, I don't know, 3 on the long sides because this is like 3 foot, and then I'll put a couple here. Alright, and just having this glass sitting here, you could already tell that it's solid. So the glaze is doing its job. It's sucking the glass in and making a bond to the wood. Okay? Alright, so I decided to put 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, 4 on that side, 3 at the bottom. Doesn't need any at the top because of that groove that the glass sits in. Just using a knife. I'll do it over here so you can see me better. What you can do is shove this triangle in there at the very bottom and give it a little push. Make sure you push it so the end is all the way past the sash on the other side, the little border line. You can kind of work them back and forth if you need to. Let me get a close-up for you guys. Alright, so there it is right there, the top. Come on, focus. So we just push it in there. And then here's the back side where the end of this sash is, this rabbit here, the end. So you want to push it in past that because you don't want it to see, you don't want to see that visible from the other side, looking out the window. Then we've got to take the extra stuff off from this side too, just like that. So I'll go and put these points in, 4 on this side, 4 on that side, and 3 in the bottom, and then I'll turn it over and I'll get the leftover stuff, glaze, from the other side. Also, this glazing tool helps. You can use the triangle end here and push in those tabs in with that. If you have trouble, just go back and forth and go in there just fine. Alright, so now I'm going to flip it over and get this excess of glaze off the other side. Okay, now I flipped it over, and I could do that now because I got those points in, those push pins. That's holding the glass in now. I'm just going to scrape off all the extra glaze on the border here and clean it up. Alright, so I'll go and finish that right now. What I'm doing now is I'm taking that 20-minute mud, easy sand stuff, and going around with the powder and just cleaning up the glass and smoothing out this line here, because it did squeeze it, embedded the glass real good, and you want it nice and clean right there, a clean little line. Alright, now I'm going to flip this back over. Alright, so now this side is nice and cleaned up. Oh, the other side is nice and cleaned up. So now we can see, again, remember I told you, you want to make sure right here, the outside edge right here, you don't want the push pins going past that, because then the glaze won't cover it. So you want to make sure that everything's inside, and all these are good. So now I can start putting my glaze on the outside, and that's another part that's called glazing. This part's called embedding your window in your sash.